to teach my directors how to pass on that vital knowledge to their consultants, so that we were all doing exactly the same thing. So it was a continuity of knowledge and experience, and that's what we want all of our consultants to do. So it's very basic, as you know. We need to go back to basics every now and again, I think. We can't find ourselves, going off and doing little different things. It's really important that we just stick to the basic, stick to the things that really work. Thank you, Bev. Okay, now there's an Eastern philosophy. I know you've all heard of it before. And it simply says, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you will feed him for a lifetime. Thank you, Bev. Okay, so our philosophy is exactly the same thing. It's learn how to book consistently. That's a really important word. And you will have a business that delivers great income and exciting rewards for a lifetime. But I find when people are constantly looking for bookings, that the whole emphasis and the whole energy and the focus is going outside and finding bookings. But the bookings coming from the bookings themselves are the most important thing of all. So this is what we're all about, is the consistency, because after all, we do want to give our industry credibility. Now, credibility is what helps us to sponsor, to book more, to earn an income that is consistent every single week. If we were going out in any sort of part-time work, we'd probably be working 15 to 20 hours. And we wouldn't think about it. It's just something that we would do. And it's the same in our industry. So this is what will give you credibility to people when you're booking them, when you're sponsoring them, because you can say honestly, look, I do whatever it is, 2, 3, 4 rendezvous every single week, and I'm earning myself $500 or $600, depending on what you do. And it's that consistency that will give us credibility. Very, very important. Next. So, your booking goals, of course. Always 2 bookings or more from every single rendezvous. Why? Well, of course, the most important person in your business life are your hostesses. Okay, agreed? You all know that. We don't have a business without our hostesses. And they get the maximum from their rendezvous when you are able to, with her help, because after all, you will find that she's your partner. And this is what you do to create a partnership with your hostess, so that the 2 bookings are created from your experience, your knowledge, and her motivation, plus her knowing what she is going to receive with sales and with bookings. So that always has to be what's in your mind when you're going out. And when you do have a great diary that's full of bookings, you just go out and you don't even think about bookings. Okay, next bit. So, where does it start? Well, obviously, it starts with hostess coaching. This is something that I trained over and over and over, because without hostess coaching, your hostess has no idea what she's entitled to. So it's like anything goes. So sitting down with her is absolutely vital. And, you've got all of those instructions in your consultant guide. Please go over them and go over them and go over them. When I was new in the business, I practiced on my family the whole time. I practiced on my husband, I practiced on my children. I sat them down and I hostess coached them. I booked them, I sponsored them until it just flowed out. So the hostess coaching, I'm not going to go into it today because it is a session all on its own. But before the next session that we do, please go into your consultant guide, go over the hostess coaching, tick all the things that you do, tick some of the things perhaps that you've let slide, because as I said, sometimes the basics sort of slip away from us a little bit. And so there are no shortcuts to hostess coaching. You have to do it 100% of the time, and you need to do it 100% well. You know, they're the two things that you need to take into your heart and soul. If you want to be successful in party plan, hostess coaching is step number one. Okay, right, babe. So, why do people book? Well, I'll tell you why. You know it anyway, but once again, take it on board. They will book because they like you, they'll book because they love the product, and they'll book because they have fun. But let me tell you a little story that I heard many years ago. And the DSSA all over the world did a massive survey. And they sent out this survey to thousands and literally thousands of hostesses. And they all organized this together. And the survey was very simple. They just said, tell us why you book parties. And just give us 3 reasons why they book parties. They were the 3 reasons. They like you, they love the product, they have fun. But you know what was number 1? Number 1 was, and they even said love my consultant. But most people said we liked our consultant. The next reason was they had fun. And the 3rd reason was they love the product. And I think this is something that people don't quite get, because you know they can love the product, but unless you connect with them, unless you have that connection with them, they may not book with you. They may find somebody else that they connect with, and they'll book with them, and you wonder why. So connection is the number 1 reason that people will book a party. They love the product, okay, but you know, it's got to be fun as well. It's got to be something that connects with them, that they're on the edge of their seat. They're waiting to hear what it's all about. They're waiting to hear the product. And what a product we've got. I mean, it's just incredible. You know, smell is one of the most important of the senses that we have. And look at the product that we've got. So we've got a huge advantage straight away with the smell of our product. It's amazing. But first and foremost is you need to connect with them. So, okay, next one is the rendezvous itself. What I want you to remember is that the rendezvous doesn't start when you get to your hostess's home. The rendezvous starts in your head before you leave. So you picture her and you remember the things that she has in the hostess coaching session. You, of course, will know everything that she wants. So write it down next to her name in your diaries. Write down all the products that's on her wish list so that you know this is what she wants, okay? So that's the beginning of your booking. Your booking starts then, in your head, because you know what she wants, and it's your job to make sure that your hostess receives it all, okay? So make sure you get there early. You know, there's nothing more important than being there to greet her, to make sure that you know, everything is okay with her, that you have a nice relaxed setting around the table. It's so lovely now, your rendezvous where you sit down with your guests like they're your friends. You know, you've never met them before, but you're sitting in a relaxed situation with them around her kitchen table or her dining room table. It's fantastic. Sometimes when you get there and things happen, her hostess, oh, look, nobody's coming, and they're upset, you know, naturally. So you need to make sure that you tell her it's fine. All the important people will be there. The words are really important. So remember these words. Mary, it's absolutely fine. All the important people will come. Now, where are we going to set up? Okay, so you acknowledge her disappointment and listen to her. Look her in the eye, listen to her, acknowledge it. Look, it's disappointing. These things happen. Please don't worry about it because all the important people will be here. And as guests arrive, I used to find that at a time like that, the first person who walked in the door, I would greet as well, because I wanted to take care of my hostess saying, oh, I don't know why I booked this party because nobody's coming. And then the guest says, oh, I know, that's why I never have parties. You need to be there to control that circumstances. those circumstances. So I used to say, oh, look, my name is Kate, and I'm so glad that you're here. Mary's a little bit disappointed because some of her friends couldn't come. But you know what I told her? All the important people will be here. And here you are. So tell me, have you ever heard of Larev before? So it takes care of that little bit of negativity that may occur. So when you do start your demonstration, make sure that your presentation, make it short, make it interactive. It's a really good idea. Who's heard of Larev before? What's your favorite product? You know, so just maintain light control always, because it is a social atmosphere and you want to have it like that. But do encourage participation and get hands-on with the product, you know. Now, actively listen to people. Watch their body language, watch their eyes. When you say the things that you say, watch for a reaction from them. Okay. Next one. Okay, booking bids. Okay, why are they so important? Well, it's a bit like watching something grow, I guess. You drip, drip, drip feed it. You know, if you've got a little plant, you're not going to pour a bucket of water on top of it, are you? You're going to drip feed it so that it takes root and it grows. And it's the same with bookings. You know, you drip feed the information to them so that I used to make them like silent biddings all the way along, you know, and I used to say, oh my goodness, it's so lovely so fantastic to be here. Do you know what? And it depended on the crowd that I was with as well. If I was in a crowd, because I had teenagers when I started, and I used to say to people, oh, thank you so much. You know what? You've all let me get away from my teenagers for the next hour or so. Anyone here got teenagers? When did they turn from beautiful little children into teenagers? So you'd get a laugh, and you'd get people connecting with you. And like, me too, yes, I've got teenagers, and yes, I know what you're talking about. And you know what? This is why I love Larev. It just lets me get away for a couple of hours, unwind, be with beautiful people like yourselves, and just enjoy myself and enjoy sharing the most fantastic products. They're just world perfect. They really are. And they're such a wonderful, wonderful price that you absolutely have to have them in your home and in your own hands. And we're going to help you to do that. Get them into your hands, feel them, smell them, and enjoy them. So, okay. The first booking bid, of course, would be to thank your hostess. Make it brief. Describe what she really wants. It's a great idea to have a basket full of what she's aiming for. You know it, don't you? Because she's made a wish list and your hostess coached her, so you know exactly what she wants. If it's in a basket, you can just say, this is what we're aiming for tonight. And this is our average party. And it's fantastic. But when I thanked my hostess, I just found that I did what everybody else does in party plan. And I can guarantee you that the vast majority of people start off their parties by saying, hi, my name is Kate and I'm your Larev consultant. And I want to thank Mary very much for inviting me. And I want to thank you all for coming. Do you find that that's the sort of thing that you do? And why wouldn't you? Because you've been trained that way. But it's the same old, everybody does it. And in today's world, you've got to connect quickly with people. You know, you've got to get that feeling straight away with them. You want to stand out. You want to be different to everybody else, to every other party plan person. So I just found different ways of introducing and thanking my hostess. And because I mingled with them beforehand, I then was able to say, look, it's been lovely chatting with you all and knowing a little bit about you. But before we start, before I share these wonderful products with you, they're world class, by the way, you know that, they're world class. But before I share them with you, something really important I have to say, and that, of course, is that Mary, I would, you know, hold her hand or touch her. I'd have her next to me, and I would say, you know, you have made a fantastic compliment. You've paid me a fantastic compliment by inviting me into your home and introducing me to your friends. I only met you a couple of weeks ago, and here I am in your lovely home meeting your fantastic friends, and you've paid me a huge compliment. You've also paid Larev a huge compliment. Do you know how important you are, Mary? This company would not exist without you. Just wouldn't, because this is the only way we market our product. We don't do it any other way except by coming into people's home, introducing this world-class product, and we can do that at the best possible price because of people like you, Mary, and your friends who are here tonight. So what have I done here? It's a booking bid, it's a sponsoring bid, it's a warm thank you, sincere. It's made my hostess feel very important, hasn't it? It's made her feel really important. And women are sitting there thinking, how nice is that? When was the last time? It's subconscious, but when was the last time that people made me feel that special and that important? So that's basically your first booking bid, okay? Okay. So, make yourself a standout and do something a little bit different instead of being like every other consultant all around the world in any party plan that you can think of. Okay. So the second one, of course, can sound something like demonstrating the rewards, and I think I've handled that anyway, demonstrating the rewards that guests can receive when they book their own rendezvous, highlighting the gold and the diamond rewards, mentioning the theme party. Once again, that's a standout from other party plan, isn't it? The party plan companies don't have the advantage of having these theme parties. And so you can book and rebook for different themes over and over and over again. And you can invite the guests to consider a date for their own booking. But we'll cover that just a little bit later. But you can just, by doing that, you get them thinking about it through the rendezvous, just by drip feeding information that makes them think, oh gosh, I have to have one of those. Right. So look, there's a script that's fantastic. Antoinette Mastari, she has got a huge diary full of bookings. She has got an enormous sales that you all know about. I know you do. And it's consistent. You see, so the reason it's so consistent is that Antoinette has made our industry credible. They believe her when she says it's a fabulous business. They believe her because it's there. She's probably struggling to get them into her diary. So please go in and go through all of those, and you need to practice. And when you are practicing, make sure you practice. Some people say practice makes perfect. It's practicing perfectly that makes it what it's meant to be. So practice perfectly, and you will get the desired results. So I'm not going to go into all of those because there are so many things in this short period of time that I want to cover, and Antoinette's words are absolutely fantastic. Let this be a little bit of homework for you in the next day or so, that you are going to practice this and role play with somebody in your team, or pick up the phone and call your director and say, I want to book you, I'm going to book you. And let your director have the objections that come. And you can do, directors, of course, do this with your consultants as well. Do it at your meeting. And you'll find, because people used to say to me, oh, but it just flows off your tongue. Well, it didn't. It does now. And I could go out now and pick up a basket and go out and sell. Don't sponsor me, anybody. I'm not going to do that. I could, because those words are so ingrained in my brain that they will never be forgotten. Okay. So, okay, Beth, thank you. Now, here's the one-on-one. This is where you get your bookings, okay? Because you drip feed. Now, if you were to not ask people on a one-on-one basis, you just won't get your bookings, The drip feed is just preparation for the one-on-ones. So when you finish your demonstration, this is where you get the bookings. And of course, it has to do with, how you look, how you present yourself, how you connect with people. You need that connection with people from the minute. You've got to fast forward. Usually when we develop a connection with people, it takes a little bit of time. We take our time getting to know people. You don't have that luxury in party plan. You have to connect with people instantly. and that's simply by looking in their eyes, smiling at them, being sincere, asking some questions, and then doing a fabulous demonstration, presentation with everything looking beautiful. And then this is where you get the bookings. So when you're finished, it's like, Mary's kindly given me this little area, I'll just call it my office, for the want of a better word. This is where I'm going to help you get the best deal that's available for you, because this is what I'm all about. I want you to get the very best deal that's available from the company, because the company's generosity, it's fabulous. It's absolutely fantastic. And I want you to be able to take advantage of that, okay? Take advantage of their generosity. And that's my job, to help you to get that at the best possible price for you, okay? And I've got a lovely little appreciation gift, when you come up with your order. And then, of course, I'm ready to, to answer any question that I may not have covered. So that's what I'm all about. So feel free, have a play, have a think, and then come up and let's talk about, what's the best deal for you and what you would love to have. Okay, so here it is. You take her order, okay? You take her order and say, thank you so much for your order this evening. I really appreciate it. So that's so important. That's the first thing that you say after you've helped her. And of course you upsell. I don't think I have to tell you how to do that. You're all really, really good at it. Your sales are fantastic. I mean, the party average now is $600-700, I'm pretty sure, which is just great. It really is. And when you think what you can earn from that, and particularly when you do it like 3 in a row, that you can earn, about $500 in 24 hours. Have you ever thought of that? And how do you do that? Well, you have a rendezvous on a Friday night. You have one on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. So that's 24 hours from Friday night to Saturday night. You can sell, $1,200, and you can earn yourself, how much money from the $1,200 sales. There's not too many jobs that you can do to earn that much money. And if you told that story to people constantly, consistently, because you're consistently doing parties, how many people do you think you sponsor? Who wouldn't want to earn $400 or $500 in 24 hours? It's not very often that you can do that. So the thank you, of course, is making people feel appreciated. You're not just an order taker. You are there to help people get the best deal. So upsell, set savers are a brilliant way of upselling. It's the best deal for your hostess. She'll recognize it once you tell her. So make it your job to be number one in the country, where you're going to have like a 90% set saver orders from people. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so. I really appreciate your order, and that doesn't matter whether she buys a roll-on, parfum or aromatherapy. It doesn't matter whether it's a $31 sale or whether it's a $300 sale. I really appreciate your order. Have you had fun tonight? What did you enjoy most? And she'll tell you, if you've had a theme party, if it's a chocoholic, for example, she'll say, oh, I love chocolate. And then you can say, don't we all? Isn't it fantastic? Have you ever considered having your own rendezvous? And if you were to, these are magic words. Write them down, write them into your brain, write them into your heart, write them into where you're never going to use any other words except. And if you were to, would you have a chocoholic, or have you had a look through, our theme party folder? If you were to, would you pick a chocoholic or would you pick something else? Now, the reason for those words is it's a psychological, because I want to be able to not just help you on how to say the words that I'm saying, or why we say them. Because once something makes sense to you, well, then you'll never forget it. And the reason that you say these words is, and if you were to, would you pick A or would you pick B? Because what you're doing is you're giving people two options. It's really important. And what that does it stops an automatic response of people saying, no, I don't want to have a party. You know, how many people have, you know, when we were new perhaps, or new people who come in say, would you like to have your own party? It's a closed question. Most people expect to get asked and they're ready for it and they say, no, thank you. You've got nowhere to go. It's closed, it's finished, you know. But if you say, if you were to consider having a fun night like we did tonight, would you pick a chocoholic or would you pick another theme? What would suit you best, an evening or a weekend? Now, what happens in the brain is it stops the automatic response and people then examine those options. Right? So it slows down that automatic response. This is the most important part of this webinar tonight. It really is. It's understanding that we use the words and why we use them. So would you prefer this or would you prefer that? An evening or a weekend, a chocoholic or another one. And then they will come up with a response. Now the response can still be no, but the brain starts to go through the options and they'll say, oh, well, you know, an evening would suit me best because, and I just found they even told you why. Or because this happens and that happens, so it would have to be a weekend. And I would say, oh, that's fine. I work this time on a Saturday, that time on a Sunday. What would you prefer? Or always give them your options, by the way. So if you don't want to work on a Sunday, or a Saturday, you just say, oh, look, I do a rendezvous on a Sunday morning and a Sunday afternoon. Which one of those would suit you best? Which one do you think your friends would like to come to? Okay, so it's so important, and it's something that you really need to practice with over and over and over, and you will find and it's the same with close dating. You know, people, sometimes I was talking to somebody not very long ago and she was booking 5 and 6 weeks outside her program, and of course we all know that those parties don't always hold. So with a little bit of coaching and telling her the words, look, if you were to have one, would you have this date or would you have that date? And instead of saying to people, then would you like to have your party? And then it's like 3, 4, 5 weeks away. But I have this date and that date available. Which one of those would you prefer? Okay, and always give the first date that you can. I used to give people the next night. Like tonight is Wednesday night, and say, oh, look, I've actually got tomorrow night free. Now, see, the law of average is that people can say no to you twice. Very, very seldom do they say no 3 times. Once they've agreed to having it, you know, they very seldom will knock you back 3 times. So I would say, oh, can't believe it, I've got tomorrow night free. How about that? Oh, God, no, that's way too soon. So then I would say, yeah, perhaps it is. So we picked a Thursday night. So would you prefer the 21st or the 28th or the 21st? Right? I gave them dates, and I gave them the closest date last, because people are more inclined to take the last date that you give them, and it's only a week away. But if they take the other date, it's still only 2 weeks away. So that phrase is amazing, and it works exactly the same way with sponsoring. I'm not going to go into that because Marie is the queen of it, and I know she's doing one tomorrow night, and I want you to concentrate on that. But if you were to, works in every situation you can imagine. Okay, so if you were to host a rendezvous, what theme would you like? And of course, it's always about asking everyone. You have to ask every single person. And, you know, what happens with new people in particular, you know, they may ask 3, 4, 5 people, and the answer is no, 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 no. And of course, you know, you start taking it personally. You do. We start to take it personally. And it's because of like a lack of confidence that we have. And so we stop asking the 6th person or the 7th person that could get us the 2 bookings that we need to have for our hostess. Because what you have to think of is that your hostess is the most important person in your business life. She there tonight is the most important person in your business life. It's your job to make sure you ask every single person to have a party, okay? Every single person. Now, on to the next one. And what if she says no? And if we have like 6, 7 people at a rendezvous and 2 people say yes, aren't we elated? We've got the 2 bookings. Do we worry about the 5 or 6 people who've said no? No, you don't, because you've got the yes. But you've got to go through a few no's to get to the yes. So what if she says no? When she says no, and she will. And that's fine. So you simply smile at her. See, when people say no, and it's particularly relevant, I think, to new people in the business. When people say no, we just get, it's an awkward feeling. We find it difficult to deal with. What do you say? No, I don't know, I'm not going to have it. And you've done everything. You know, you've gone through, I'm too busy, and you've dealt with that, and the answer is still no. It is awkward. Definitely it's awkward. So you smile at her, you compliment her, and you simply say, that's okay. Not everybody says yes. Not everyone says yes. But do you know what? It would have been really rude of me not to ask you. Can I tell you why? I just thought you would make a lovely, lovely hostess. And I know you love the product. You know, I know you love the product, and you've got such a lovely personality. I just thought you'd be a lovely hostess. So I couldn't possibly not ask you, but it's fine because not everybody says yes. However, before I let you go, can I ask you a small favor? And she'll say yes to that. And then it simply is, who do you know? Who do you know that would love some free perfume or aromatherapy or whatever it is? Who do you know who would love some of that? You know, and Mary, would you be happy to recommend me to somebody? Now, what is she going to say? She hasn't been pressured. She hasn't been pushed. She's enjoyed the demonstration. She's connected with you. She's bought a set saver. You have accepted her decision not to have a rendezvous. And now you're just going to say to her, that's fine. Not everybody says yes. You compliment her, but you know what? It would have been so rude of me not to ask you. Why? Because you're gorgeous. I like you, and I'd love to have caught up with you again. Now, who do you know who would love some free perfume? And would you be happy to recommend me? She's going to say yes. Now, once again, the psychology of that is your brain registers yes. That's what the brain will register. So you're much more inclined to go on to the next person and the next person and the next person because you're registering a yes, not a no. So the brain controls all of the hormones in our body. And so hormones, good and bad, or negative and positive, will flood our bodies. So you want your body flooded with positives, don't you? And this is how you do it. You simply get a yes from people. So it's not the yes that you initially wanted, but it's still a yes. And that's what the brain registers. So the body will register that. And then because of that, you will feel good. You'll ask the next person. So would you be happy to recommend me? Yes, I would. So, you know, I'll give you a business card if that's okay with you. And, you know, you're going to smell beautiful and people are going to notice. So when people do that, would you like to hand on my card? You know, I used to then get messages from people sometimes. A couple of days later, I used to get a phone call from some people. Nothing works 100% of the time. That doesn't matter. You know, if everything worked 100% of the time, you know, we wouldn't be in business basically because everything would work for everybody. But people would ring me up and say, look, I've been thinking about it. I think I will have a party after all. And then, you know, that's the impression that you leave with people. And that's why it's so, so important. So, you know, when she is using the product and when she's enjoying them, and the beauty, of course, of our perfumes, and particularly at this time of the year, you know, so important that we're using our perfumes as well. Like as Marie says, you know, when you get out of your car and go into the shopping center, have a little spritz. Put some more perfume on yourself so that people will notice. You know, my granddaughter visited me a couple of hours ago and said, "Nana, you smell so nice." and it makes you feel good when you smell nice and when people notice, you know. So people notice, and it opens up a whole new era for you of being able to book people. Okay. Right, next one. Okay, now sometimes, of course, you know, as I said, nothing works 100% of the time. So sometimes we'll only get one booking. I'm always more disappointed for my hostess than I am for myself. Okay. And I will say to my hostess, feel terrible. I feel terrible that I've only got one booking for you. You know, this is my job to make sure that you get everything that you deserve. And please understand the word deserve. It's terribly, terribly important. It makes people feel like this is what they should be getting, you know. You deserve to get everything. You've been a beautiful hostess. You absolutely deserve it. Was there anything more I could have done, Mary, to make sure that the 2 bookings came in for you tonight? And usually she'll say, no, that's, you know. So what do you do when you've only got 1 booking? I never, ever, ever let a party, no matter how good the party was, there's always somebody who didn't come. You know, always. I don't think I ever went to a party where absolutely every person who was invited turned up. That means that there are other options for you with the other people, okay? And so I would leave the party open for her, and I would say, who couldn't come tonight that really wanted to be here, but circumstances prevented her? Who is that person? And she would tell me, and I would say, is it okay if I give her a ring, do you think? Is it okay if I give her a ring? Sometimes she would say yes. Sometimes she would say no. But if she said yes, I would then ring her, introduce myself, and say, look, the purpose of my call, I'm not going to keep you long, but, you know, Mary missed you last night at her rendezvous. And I missed the opportunity of meeting with you, and she has said some lovely things about you. So I was really sorry that we didn't get the opportunity to meet up last night. So, and the purpose of my call is to tell you that it was a hugely successful rendezvous, and the sales were like $800, and we got 1 booking. And because you didn't get the opportunity last night to view the product, to smell the product, to, you know, participate in the fun that we had, I just wondered if you would be willing to invite some of your friends around your kitchen table. And that will give Mary, your friend, the 2nd booking that will allow her to get the maximum from her party. How do you feel about that? Would that be something that you would consider? And if you were to consider that, would an evening or a weekend suit you? Now, it's only going to take a few minutes. It will work or it won't work. But nothing works. If you don't ask the question, the answer is always no. So it's just getting the courage to ring up and to do that. And I would sometimes ring the a set saver customer, for example, and once again say, really enjoyed meeting up with you last night. You made a beautiful decision on the products that you selected last night. Now, the purpose of my call, because I don't want to embarrass Mary, the purpose of my call is just to say what a great party it was. You know that the sales were $800 and there was 1 booking. Now, the maximum that Mary can get comes from 2 bookings. I'm just wondering, say no if you want to, but I'm just wondering if you would reconsider your decision, you know, and have a party, because it would really help Mary. I would never say it in front of a hostess, because she will automatically say no, 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 no. But that sometimes will work as well. And, you know, no pressure on you. I'm just wondering if you would possibly reconsider. And, you know, that works as well. Once again, you have to go outside your comfort zone maybe a little bit, you know, to do things like that. But it's all about building up your business so that, let me tell you, the best way for you to consistently do 3 rendezvous every single week is to build up a program of between 12 and 15. Because you know, if you book in 3 a week, we all know those 3 don't always hold. Circumstances happen with people. Children get sick, cars break down, all sorts of things will happen. We'll have a tornado, whatever. And so then you lose that continuity. So an insurance policy basically is to have, 3, 4, 5, say 5 in week 1. We used to have work with a 50, 40, 10 in our diary. 50% of our total program would be in week 1. 40% would be in week 2, and 10% would be in week 3. That meant if you had a program of 10, you'd have 5 in week 1, you'd have 4 in week 2, and 1 in week 3. Sometimes people get a little bit nervous about this week 3. Don't be, because the 5 that you would have, maybe 1 will fall over and will go into the next week, and then you've still got 4. And you book from there into week 2 and week 3. So your program will consistently be like that if you hold that program in a 50, 40, 10 situation. It works really, really well. Okay. And I just find that I always felt fantastic when I had 14, 15 parties in my diary. As a director, sometimes I would double book. And because I didn't want to book outside my program, so I would double book, and I would pick one of my best consultants and I would hand her a party over. So you manage then to get the best team in the country, because your best people are doing more parties and they're getting better and better and better at what they do. So it's always about the thought in your head, I'm not through until I've booked 2. And that is, you do it for your hostess, you do it for yourself, you do it for the business in total. Because once again, let me say that we give our industry credibility when we're working consistently and earning consistently. That's what gives our business credibility. See, it doesn't have a great amount of credibility out there. We've all found that. But when we find it credible, we then extend that credibility to other people. That's how we keep on booking, is how we keep on sponsoring, because we give our industry credibility. Okay, so it's always about the 2 bookings. So I hope I've given you the tools that you need. They're very simple. They're very, very simple. And it's just about practicing and role-playing with them and coming across different circumstances. Like the most common reason that you will get, and I'll just touch on that because I'm conscious of the time. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a little drink. The most common reason that you will get for people not having a party is, I'm too busy. I'm too busy, and it's true. And so I would look at somebody and say, I know, I understand. Those 2 words are really vital in all sorts of situations. I understand, because women lead such busy lives these days, don't we? Put yourself into the same category, don't we? What are you going to get? She'll say yes. For busy women like you, we have a special time out, a special little pampering session. Tell me, Mary, when was the last time you got pampered? And she'll say, oh, I don't know why. I don't know how long it is. You know what? That's my job. That's what I love to do. I love to pamper women who haven't had that experience for a long time. And for busy women like you, take an hour out for you. You deserve it. Take an hour out for you and let me pamper you, and you can relax, put your feet in a beautiful, foot bath or whatever you want to suggest. And let me pamper you for a little while. And if you were to do that, what do you think would suit you best? So it's always finding, the solution for her, because the busy thing is the one thing that's going to stop people in their tracks. So you just agree with her. I absolutely understand that. Women lead such busy lives these days, don't we? You get a yes. And for busy women like you, this is what I do. I love to do it for busy women. Okay. So Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. How has it been going for you with the double booking gift? Isn't it the most amazing, amazing thing that the company has put on? I've been talking to people who have said their bookings have come in so well. But you know what? They won't know about it unless you tell them. You have to let the world know that there's a double booking gift in November. And that should get you like 14 or 15, even if you do one-on-ones. I was talking to Mary Alice Martin. I don't know whether she's on tonight or not, but she's done a remarkable job in the last couple of days, where she has just tucked the diffuser under her arm. She's rung people up and said, I can't talk about this over the phone. It's something I have to show you. And she's gone around to people and just plugged in the diffuser and talked to people about, that they can get this for free. And you know what? She's got her program up to, I think it's 11 or 12, just by doing that. It's an amazing, she's taken that on board herself, and she's done that and made a great difference to her program. Well, isn't that fantastic? It's not, it's just a matter of making a decision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to step outside my comfort zone. I'm going to tell the world that this is the best time ever to have a party. And now I've got an announcement to make. I don't know who has seen The Focus, but you know what? Drum roll. Everybody do a drum roll. It's been extended to December, right? Isn't that absolutely fantastic? So now, from now on, you can start booking. Well, don't start booking into December yet, because you still got Pursuit of Excellence to bring home. But now you know that in the end of December and November, you can start to tell people again what they can achieve all through December. It's enormously generous on the company's part. They've done it to help you to build a great business, because finishing off the year with a good, strong program and going into the new year with that you don't want to go into the new year with the same old. You want to come in with verve and vigor and excitement and motivation, and you're going to build a business. And the company's goal and their role is to help you to achieve that. So look, it doesn't matter. I used to say to people all of the time, whatever your contribution is to the company, it doesn't matter whether it's one party a week or 5 parties a week. Do not ever underestimate your importance to the company, because it's your business. And depending on your circumstances, you may want to do 1 a week, or you may want to do 5 a week. Don't ever underestimate your importance to the company because of what you're doing, as long as you're doing and you're being successful. If you want to hold 1 party a week and you're holding it, you're a success. If you want to hold 5 and you're holding 3, well, then, you need to work out what it is that's not working for you. But your importance is huge to the company and to its success, okay? So isn't that fantastic that now you've got this huge aim and goal that you can take with you into next month as well as to the end of this month. Please book in closely to the end of this month. Bring Pursuit of Excellence home. And you'll do that with your bookings, okay? Because they are the basics of your business. And when you can book, you can do anything at all. Because that means that you've connected with people, which is the most important reason that they book, because they like you. Remember that. And the second one is they've had fun. And the third one is the product, which is amazing. And they'll love that anyway. Okay. So that's my contribution to becoming brilliant at the basics. It's something that we all need to go back to on a regular basis, as I said. And now I think we're going to open it up, aren't we, Bev, to any questions.
Thank you, Kate. And I know why everybody booked with you, because you're so warm and lovely and welcoming to everybody. And I think, and you have a gorgeous smile, and a smile also always goes a long way. Now, we were going to open questions. We might only just have a couple of questions, but though everyone has Kate's email address, so you could always shoot her an email or give her a call if you've got questions that you'd like to speak to her about, just specifically one-on-one. So I might just close this and open it up. And if anybody has a question at all, you can either put your comments in the chat down the bottom or pop a hand up and I'll see if I can see you and I'll unmute you and we might have a question. All gone quiet.
Everybody's got it.
Yes, here we go, Kelly. Go for it, Kelly. I think you're unmuted, so you can go.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello. Hi, Kate. That was awesome, by the way. So thank you so much, because that was really fantastic. So thank you.
Very much.
My question just is about going into December with the double booking gift. Is that common knowledge? Can I tell my team that now? Is that fine to let them know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's in focus now. So I just got notice of it and I was told that I could, but just be careful with them, Kelly, as to what their program is like. You know, encourage them to keep on booking and explain the importance of, you know, the booking pursuit of excellence, of course, because I'm sure they've all got their goals and you don't want them to, but, you know, if the time comes where they absolutely cannot book into, well, then they have got that, you know, wonderful gift of being able to do it in December. And also who are really, really busy as well, and your diaries are chock-a-block and you can't fit anything more into November, well, then you then have the option and the opportunity of chock-a-blocking December as well. Because remember, you know, everybody's going to have to do like 4 weeks in December and in January. You're going to have to do 4 weeks work in 3. You know, so if you normally do 3 parties a week, in the first 3 weeks in December, do 4. And in January, in the 3 weeks, we all need time off. We all need a break. And so we have to make sure that continuity of income is continuing in December and January. Don't let your business falter. You know, have a holiday and feel fantastic because you're still enjoying the same income. But yes, you can tell everybody, but just be careful how you do it and when you do it.
Of course. No, thank you. Thanks, Kate.
Great question, Kelly. Thank you. And do we have maybe time for just one more quick question? I've got just a couple of minutes. Anybody else? I know there's still quite a lot of people who are actually watching. I can see we've got a lot of non-videos. So people have not got their videos on, so we've got quite a few, so that's fine. Looks like, well, that might be it, I think, Kate, at the moment. So I'd like to just say, sorry?
Has anybody got a comment that they'd like to make? Is there anybody that feels, you know, now's the time to be really honest and find, look, this doesn't sit with me. How do I, you know, get outside my comfort zone? But the premise of it is fairly simple, really, isn't it? But if anyone's got a comment, that'd be great. And if you haven't got any questions, as Bev said, my email address is katehark@gmail.com. So if you have any questions that you think about later on, don't hesitate, and I'll certainly reply to those.
So again, thank you, Kate, for that wonderful presentation on becoming brilliant at the basics. And I know that I sat here taking heaps and heaps of notes, so I hope that you've all got notes. But I think the main thing is get the information, but actually do something with it. It's no use having your notes and thinking, wonderful, and now's a good time to practice. And as Kate said, the more you do, the better you become. So thank you very much, Kate. This will be shared. I'll send out a link later on that probably will go out tomorrow or Friday, so that people still have time to watch it. So if any of your girls missed the presentation and you'd like them to watch it, we'll have it loaded that they can watch for about another week. So again, thank you everybody for participating. And from Kate, so say hi, Kate. Kate, if you want to say hello, you'll probably come back on the screen, I think.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful evening and have a fantastic pursuit of excellence. Yay!
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
and we'll catch up sometime soon. Bye.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Kate.
Bye.
Thank you, Kate. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.